Hi there. It's January the 19th, and in today's readings in Torah and Genesis, we find the much chastened Joseph coming through to a place of authority and of respect with Pharaoh. He has to really go through the mill to get there, first being sold into slavery in the house of Potiphar, and then finding himself in prison for something he hasn't done, unjustly accused of raping Potiphar's wife, and then he manages to interpret the dreams of the king's baker and the king's wine cupbearer, but in the process he's forgotten and left in prison for several years. But eventually he comes to this point where Pharaoh wants to have his dream interpreted. Now, Joseph says an interesting thing to Pharaoh when Pharaoh says, "Can you interpret my dreams?" And maybe the young Joseph would have been more cocksure, more self-confident rather than confident in God, and have said, yes, sure, I can do that. But here, this is the Joseph who has learned through adversity reliance on God, and that God is always with him in whatever circumstances. And he actually says to Pharaoh, "No, Pharaoh, only God can bring you fulfillment. Only God can bring you," and he uses the word shalom. Only God can bring you the shalom that you require, that you need to understand these dreams and to understand what God is calling you to. And today we need to recognize that it's not ourselves we rely on, but it's God. And only in God, only from God, do we find that shalom which Jesus brings us through his love and through his redemption. Have a good January the 19th.